We are now 15 days, 15 hours, and 59 minutes to the big day when everyone will eventually know who will be the president. Away from the presidential elections in those days, and that's when it will count. But in the meantime, political parties continue jostling for votes, open-air campaign returning with intensity, but not without some skirmish. Will parties really rein in their supporters? Well, that remains the big question everyone seems to be asking. Good evening. Welcome to the program. I'm Chamberlain Uso. Well, our reactions continue to trail the mock accreditation conducted by INEC, the distribution of the PVCs, and the readiness of the Commission to conduct these general elections. Will there be an end to all of these accusations and counter-accusations that even the Commission faces? Well, as always, we will go ahead and get word from the electorate, and that will be through our correspondents when we touch base with them. They will bring us up to the minute concerning what is going on where they are. Let's show you some of those who will be reporting to us tonight from where they are. Emmanuel Ere will talk to us from Rivers State, and then we'll have Joy Odinye who will speak to us from Anambra State, and then we'll also go ahead and have Bukola Oriowo who will talk to us from Oyo State. All three of them on cue. They will tell us what is happening where they are. Don't forget, our social media platforms are also made available for you to get your views heard tonight on the program. Now, you can tweet at us using the hashtag Nigeria2015. You can also, those Twitter handles you see on your screen are the appropriate ones you can use tonight. If you've got comments or further questions, you can send us an email, and that will be at Nigeria2015@channelstv.com. And you can go ahead and tweet at us using that hashtag there, PVC collected or PVC not collected. You can also send us pictures through our Eyewitness platform. If you feel you can send us those emails. So what you have to do about the Eyewitness one is just go ahead, download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. Then tap to show the Eyewitness menu on your platform, and then follow the instructions you see on whichever device that you may be using. Well, joining us tonight, Honorable Bashir Bolainwa is a former member of the House of Representatives. He was there from 2007 to 2011. He's a member of the APC. And then we have Shegun Showomi, the Director General of Ogun State People's Democratic Party's campaign organization for the president. So both of them will be talking to us tonight about our subject in question. Well, speaking about what is in question today, you remember that several times and several occasions, peace accords have been signed. Several attempts have been made to ensure that these elections, yes, is conducted peacefully, electorates conduct themselves decently, and political parties also lead by example. But you know, there's a history, a background to these expectations. As a matter of fact, it wasn't long ago when the National Human Rights Commission came up with that report of theirs, which they took a look at within a short while, actually. They went back in time. They also reminded us of the former Lemu report, where he did look at post-election violence and made recommendations concerning what could be done to ensure that we don't have that kind of incident repeat itself in these elections. Yes, Lemu's report did in one of the recommendations there saying, if we could go ahead and set up special offenses tribunal, that may just help in perhaps calming frayed nerves and ensuring that when people do the crime, they get to do the time. But let's see what NHRC came up with in some of those findings that they did release to the media. Now, it was titled The Incidence of Election Violence in the Country within that period with which they looked at it. There is some of what they found. 22 states, they tell, were affected with violence. They went ahead and showed it. And don't forget, it ran between the 3rd of December 2014 to the 31st of January this year. 58, unfortunately, 58 deaths were recorded within that period. And then you had thousands of people were injured. And that's what many, if not all, want to avoid. this time, although they're just watching and waiting to see how we will go about bringing all of this to bear this time around. But you know, as though all of this talk didn't make any sense, only recently in Port Harcourt in Rivers State, there was this planned protest which the APC members, yes, they were holding, even the PDP also holding theirs. But eventually, 17 political parties, you understand, had planned this peaceful protest, they called it at the time, to go ahead to INEC office and raise some objections that they had noticed about the conduct of the forthcoming elections. They accused each other, both parties, of plans to manipulate the elections. Now, these accusations, there never seems to be an end to all of this. So that protest was predicated on that. And so eventually, they were on their way to the INEC's office when eventually there was some sort of clash amongst them. They clashed, both of them. But then there was this comment released by the publicity secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State, Mr. Samuel Wanosike, who said INEC was recruiting card-carrying members of the PDP. He talked about brothers of the governor of Rivers State, or aides, who are also involved in all of those allegations.